All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I wanted to do an update on one of my older videos and basically a few tips on things that I do every day and just how you guys can make some easy silver in this game. So yeah, a lot of you guys ask me, what do I do on a daily? How do I get silver and all that stuff? And if you watch my videos from before, a lot of stuff has changed from then, and so I wanted to update it. So, number one thing I do daily is Imperial delivery. The difference is this time with like the recent patch, they allowed you to basically do both Imperial delivery for cooking and alchemy. So it's basically double money essentially. And by that, I mean alchemy is still not really profitable, but either way, you can do both of them now instead of having a limit of a mix of them, and this is your cap, so basically double. I guess for newer players, what I would recommend is always just try to do at least cooking, because this is the most profit. And then how do you calculate how much you can do? So basically your contribution points divided by 2 tells you how many deliveries you can do for both cooking and alchemy. And yeah, try to push Guru 1 as fast as possible and then start doing these. What you make depends on the market, or I guess what your node setup looks like. And usually after like profits and everything, it's about 130, 140 mil a day. Even if you were to buy all the materials off the market and then just pack them and then sell it, that's about the profit. If you're making them yourself, you might make a little bit more, but yeah, that's about it. And as for alchemy, admittedly, I still don't really do them because some of these elixirs you actually do use if you aren't using the harmony drafts. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's much profit in alchemy, but that's an option nowadays, so I think that's always good. Masters may or may not be profitable. I don't think Guru really is. Well, it could be, but I'm not, after looking at the prices of it, I don't think it is, or very minimal depending on your alchemy and all that stuff. So with that said, that's one thing I do. The next thing I do is Pit of the Undying. As we all know, sovereign weapons, Karazad, are here for the end game, and no matter where you're at in the game, you're probably going to need Cronstones. If you don't think you need Cronstones, you will need Cronstones. Just trust me on that one. And it doesn't matter where you're at in terms of the gear, you're gonna need it. So Pit of the Undying is something that I think everyone should be doing. So what you would do is you just type Pit of the Undying and searching here, and then you just go in. And basically it's a few waves of bosses every time. You could select a difficulty from 1 to 5, essentially pry to pen. And then you can get some items that are like these. Let me show you. So like these thingies, so the pry, duo, try, tet, and then the pen, Undying Crow's Insignia. Are these really good? Not particularly, but it's more than nothing. So the thing you really want out of it is the higher difficulty gives you more of these Seal of the Undyings, right? And so you could exchange the Seal of Undyings for Cronstones or anything else. I think realistically the best thing to get is Cronstones, just simply because like silver is pretty nice. Some people would argue getting a loot scroll, but if you already have a lot of them, Cronstones will always be nice. Massive pure magics if you're going for your own black star, but ultimately it's not really a big deal. I think Cronstones are just straight up the best thing to get. And yeah, so at like tier 2, which is in my opinion the fastest one, you can get like 60 Cronstones a day. If you do like a tier 4 or 5, you can get between like 80 to 100. So one is a little bit more effort. Ultimately they're all pretty easy. Pen is sometimes a little bit tricky, but if you just want to get some crons, do Pit of the Undying daily. Next, what do? I do a little bit of grinding. So as we all know, you get 20,000 Agris every day if you've done your adventure journals and everything. just try to grind at least 1 hour a day and then use your Agris. At least on something. If you don't like grinding, go use your Agris on Lifeskilling, and then essentially the same thing. But yeah, I do a little bit of grinding every day, and then I guess where you grind depends on what your gear is. I have a video on the best places to grind for silver, Agris, and all that stuff, so you can check that out. I think the video is a few months old now, but it's still for the most part relevant. Obviously more gear means you get more trash loot. Some classes are better than the others and so on, but at least try to, whatever you do, try not to let your Agris cap out, because that's like wasting it no matter what you do. So after that, I do a little bit of fishing and gathering. Back in the day, I sometimes left my computer on AFK fishing. Nowadays I don't, but with the recent patch as of last week, they added a lot of new fish in like salt and seawater, and those fish are literally up to like hundreds of millions to a billion silver, and that adds to your profit. I think I've seen screenshots of people AFK fishing for like, you know, overnight for 10 hours or something, and then they come back with like a billion silver in fish. I think that's amazing. So like waking up in the morning to a free billion silver, that's cool. But yeah, there, you could read the patch notes for that one. We talked about it in one of our Global Labs videos, so if you want to see that, that's cool. But yeah, fishing got buffed, and I think overall it's a good thing. So do your gathering every day. If you leave your game on overnight, obviously you regen energy, you do fishing and all that stuff. So you could also use Agris on your gathering, and there's a lot of life skills, but if you're just trying to dump energy every day, try to make sure your energy isn't capped, and then at least use it on something, because energy equals silver, essentially. So yeah, I do a little bit of gathering every day. Guru 30 on that one. And yeah, that's pretty nice. So yeah, just make sure to keep up with the notes, because life skills have gotten buffed a lot in the past week and a half. And I think next week we're getting a hunting buff, and farming is getting updated as well. So that's pretty exciting. But as of last week, it was like fishing. And we also had a recent bartering and sailing change. So I think it's a little bit more in terms of barter money. So something to look out for. And the next thing I do is weekly bosses and Garmoth. So if you don't know what that is, these are the bosses. Like, try to do your Garmoth 3 times a week, and then the landed a morning light bosses. I know it could be annoying, so what I did was I put a character in each of the 4 spots in the morning light, just so I don't have to go on my main every time just to get them done. And I think that's a good thing, just because you may not think you need it now, but eventually I feel like you will. All these primordial crystals, and you could just buy them off the market. It's probably easier to just go do your weekly bosses for them. But yeah, that's a lot of that's a lot of silver, actually, if they sold. But they don't, because they kind of give you too many of them, and now we're just holding on to them forever. So anyway, do your bosses. They also give you the reforged crystals that go into your weapons, and those are pretty nice as well. And then also, when I talk about weekly bosses, I mean the Black Shrine bosses. So this is what we do. If you don't have a group to do it, you can always do the solo ones. If you do have a group one, you do that, and then it looks like all this. So yeah, try to do your bosses daily, and then do your weekly and party ones. Party ones are kind of nice because they give the reforged crystals and then Debarekas. So, and then a bunch of other goodies. So it's a good amount of silver every week for, I would say maybe if you do all of them party and solo, you could get them done in probably an hour, maybe less. If you do solo, then probably do them in less than 15 minutes, depending on what you're doing. If you do Calamity 7s, maybe a little bit longer, but ultimately, like for your average person, 15-20 minutes and you're good. Party ones, the hardest part about this is finding the party and then going in. But with that said, next week we're going to be doing some hunting and farming, because we talked about that in the Global Labs patch notes. Those are going to be buffed, and we'll look at what the updates are. Some other things you guys could do if you guys enjoy PvP is just do node wars with your guild, do some RBF, and get like the daily quests from there, and it's always fun. But that's what I've been doing. I make a couple billion silver every day, and those are really the tips for you. Obviously, the higher your contribution, your mastery and everything, the more silver you make, your higher your gear score and everything, AP, DP, higher end grind spots you make. But hopefully some of those tips are good for you, because no matter if you're a beginner or not, you can still do everything I do, just you might make a little bit of a different amount of silver. But I'd say at least most of them is something you guys can do on a regular, daily, and weekly. And so, yeah, that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. I do have some more videos in the works, so if you are looking for new guides and everything, whether you're a beginner or not, those will be coming out. And I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic day. Peace.